Up with Jim and Saab is exclusively on Spotify.
If you want to start your own podcast, check out anchor.fm. And if you like the podcast, make sure to follow on Spotify.
Also, share your stories
And
tag us on at Wake Up with Jim and Saab on Instagram and at ano ba?
Di ko alam.
Anyway, ito na yung show. But before that, ito yung latest single ng Cheats, Hakbang. Stream it on Spotify. Watch the music video with Piolo Pascual on
Stream Hakbang,
YouTube.
Stream Hakbang.
Kung iiwanan natin ang mundo.
Welcome to the Wake Up with Jim and Saab podcast. Welcome. We're Jim and Sab. This is the podcast where we, what do we do, Jim?
We tell you what to do with your life.
that sounded really confident, Jim.
Yeah.
We tell you what to do with your life. Sounds like a scam. No, this is not a scam. We're a really good podcast. Trying to sell it more. I mean, you're listening, so you're probably sold on it.
We're going to talk about, in this episode, we're going to talk about how we were before. Ano yung mga pitfalls, ano yung mga kaflapan namin, and basically how we've changed for the better. How we've changed for the better.
Yes. I mean, I think I'm pretty confident in saying I really do like myself much better today.
You love yourself.
I love myself. And I can't say the same about before, honestly. Can I start?
Yeah.
So I think back then, nung mga
talaga.
panahon ng kabataan ko, I would say I faked it a lot. Yung self-confidence ko. Yung sinasabi kong parang high self-esteem, I faked it. Not unknowingly. I mean, it was unknowingly I faked it.
What time period to?
Siguro mga college.
Buong adolescence mo. Okay.
College. Parang, hindi naman sobrang fake. Ano lang, parang marami talagang self-doubt. Because
Okay.
now, I still have self-doubt, but I'm aware of it. Back then,
You weren't
hindi,
even
I
aware of
wasn't
it.
aware. Parang, it was like, okay, you know the thing that I always say, diba, yung TI mo, kung ayaw mo sa akin, blah, alam mo, try not to curse for the kids. That was not the case back then. Like, I would say that, but I wouldn't really live it. Gets mo?
Gets.
Parang I'd be like, oh, sige, bahala ka. Pero like, oh,
Yeah, gets.
parang, bakit di mo ko mahalin? Ganun.
And
Charot, as if naman, no. Never had that experience. I mean,
and
they all loved me.
and knowing
Just kidding.
your history, I think that manifested in bad decisions.
Bad decisions, yes.
Bad decisions, compensating. Diba? Like, kunwari, yun nga, you weren't confident, therefore you would easily snap.
I
You-
was very defensive.
Very defensive. You were very prideful.
Proud. Yes.
You can say prideful.
Yeah. I mean,
Kala ko kinukorek
I was
mo naman ako
underlining
eh.
what you said.
Obviously, ako yung temper issues ko hindi nagbabago.
Oh, mukhang snap ka na sa pagsabi ko ng proud eh. No, just kidding. Then maganda nga dito is, we're talking about how we're better today, definitely, but we're also saying, we're acknowledging that we're definitely not perfect because that's not a thing. Right? Ay, may something ba na hindi ko alam?
Yes, correct.
Something.
We're not perfect, but we're much better than we were yesterday, and that's life, di ba? Ganun naman ang buhay eh. It's you will never reach naman perfection. It's about, again, as my dad always says,
Mhm.
life is lived forward, understood backwards.
Ikaw, ano yung
Biggest issue ko?
the thing that you aren't so prideful about today, about your past?
Okay. Well, I think it's a mix. I had when we talked about doing this pod, like I had to choose between, was it my temper?
Mhm.
Because I had a bad temper,
Mhm.
and again, this is a formal apology sa lahat ng mga nakaaway ko sa basketball. I if you don't know what I'm talking about, listen to our previous episode about jobs. Um, I I really had a Napoleonic complex, and I really struggled with it.
Mm.
And I would lash out on people that um I would lash out on people just so that I could feel better about myself.
Mhm.
So when I dug deeper, I realized the anger was a manifestation of my real problem,
Mhm.
which was insecurity and the dependence of other people's affirmation and approval.
Mm.
Parang my definition of happiness was how people saw me,
Mm.
how people responded to me. And again, I still struggle with that because that's most of these things na sinasabi namin ni Sab and sasabihin namin, they are a result of years and years of experiences,
Mm.
environment.
Mhm.
So it's not that, we're not here to tell you that it's going to be like one magic trick. Except if you listen to this podcast constantly.
This is the magic trick.
Yeah.
Just listen to Wake Up with Jim and Sab. Your life's gonna change.
So, yun, I would say it's that. Parang looking back, just like you. Ano, exactly like you. Like parang I wasn't happy with myself or I didn't know how to love myself. Therefore, I would lumalabas siya in bad decisions,
Mhm.
in arrogance,
Mm.
in trying to make myself feel better,
Yeah.
basically,
It's
at the expense of others.
definitely it's an issue with self-acceptance, no?
Yeah.
Kasi like I mean, when Jim and I talk about our future, and this is something that I heard from somewhere, I can't remember where, but I heard na the saying goes that if you don't accept yourself today, how you are today, how you are now, when you get your dream job, your dream house, your dream family, your goals, you still won't accept yourself. That means parang you're not gonna be happy. It's
Yeah.
not that you should not find your happiness from external things.
Yeah. And just to add, no, parang I can go deeper into this on another pod, but I have been wanting to do a formal apology and a
Aw.
direct apology to the people that I hurt in high school.
Can you give an example?
And again, I want to explain why
Yeah.
I was an asshole.
Mhm.
So when I moved back to the Philippines, nga, I was an outcast. I was bullied buong grade school.
Mm.
As in, whether it was because I didn't know how to speak Tagalog, strange times. Well, I was small. They made fun of me because I was dark.
Mhm.
All these things. You know what I just remembered? They used to make fun of me and parang because I had an. Parang I had white spots on my face.
Mm.
And then they were saying, yuck. But anyway,
Jeez.
yeah. So, anyway, that's why we're against all boys schools because it's anyway. So when I got to high school, my response was, and how it manifested was, so yun, parang because people didn't like me, I never felt accepted. I didn't have friends. I was sad. I hated going to school. Like I would going to school sometimes I'd call kuwari, umulan lang ng onte, I'd call my mom.
Mm.
And I'd say like, I think magbabaha. So, uwi na lang ako. So, ganun ako buong grade school. When I got to high school, lost some weight.
Got accepted in the in-crowd ba?
Yeah.
Ganun ba?
Yeah.
Mm.
Parang because ano nga ba? Parang I think it was like let's say my entry into the in crowd was because the mere fact that like a girl liked me.
Mm.
So therefore like uy, magaling sa chicks too.
Okay.
So from that point on, I felt like I didn't want to relinquish that status.
Mhm.
So I had to do everything possible. I felt like I had to do everything possible to never feel lonely again.
Aw.
And it came at the expense of a lot of people.
Mm.
Number one, I was never naman like I never physically hurt anyone.
Mhm.
I never bullied someone because of a physical attribute or something. Mine was I tried so hard, and Ali can confirm this naman because he was my classmate, and Manny. Like yun nga, my form of bullying was pranks.
Mm.
And it was just it was to get a laugh. And of course, it was mean, 'di ba? And I'm sure to this day, like si Manny may sama ng loob sa akin yan.
Yeah, you put a hot dog in his book.
Yeah. Yung mga ganun. Yun yung mga ganun yung mga ginagawa ko. And now that I'm much older, I realized it was all because that's why it's true. When you're a bully or when you want to embarrass other people, it's purely because you're not happy about yourself.
Parang it's a cycle, no? When you're bullied, you want, siguro what happens is you're desperate to put the attention on someone else na lang.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah. Parang, kumbaga kasi, lalo na in an all-boys school, it feels like a time bomb. Like, when do I become the butt of the joke? Ganun
Oh
eh.
man.
So everyone feels that pressure. And ako, to get ahead, I will make everyone the butt of the joke, except me. Parang ganon. Because nga, I felt I was like that since, you know, in grade school. So anyway, yun nga, yeah. So that was something that carried over.
Mhm.
From high school, of course, I stopped doing pranks in college. But it became na, oh, these friends have to like me.
Mm.
Diba? I can never be lonely. And then it goes to you know, it carried over when looking for jobs.
Mhm.
This job is not accepted by
Mhm.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Ganon. Making decisions like, oh, mag-business ba ako? O hindi. Or si Saab. Didate ko si Saab.
Mm.
Diba? Parang all
Ano
my...
problema nila doon? May nagalit ba about you dating me? Alam kong si Manny. Ayaw. Sabay best man sa wedding. Shout out Manny, miss you.
all my decisions talaga were so dependent on the approval and affirmation of other people, and I didn't like that. And later, I'll share with you like how I managed to graduate from that type of thinking.
Yeah. And before that, let's take a break.
Imagine being able to experience good food while practicing environmental sustainability. It's probably one of the best combos we can contribute to the world. Good thing McDonald's Green and Good put forward this initiative through the newest Shaw Boulevard Wak Wak store. But how is the new Shaw Boulevard Wak Wak store going green and good? It was built with sustainable construction methods, wow, and utilized with green building solutions. On top of that, the entire store is also running on energy-efficient utilities.
That's pretty badass. And the most exciting part, especially to our cyclists out there, is this store offers bike and dine. They are equipped with a bike repair station and a Meralco e-Sakay e-charging station where customers can charge their e-bikes and e-scooters while they dine. Love ko to talaga because they don't just promote sustainability, but they also make sure to encourage their customers to be better towards the environment. Visit McDonald's Shaw Boulevard, Wak Wak to see how McDonald's is going green and good.
Go McDo. Ikaw, Sabi, how did that manifest, you know?
My
Like-
lack of self-confidence?
Yeah, parang I never saw that.
The fake confidence, I think it manifested na because I was faking it. I think merong yabang factor. And then the reality of it is I was becoming defensive and because nga I was trying to put up a front, and then it came out in all sorts of stuff. Like I was snappy, and then I also had really horrible stage fright. Aside from gigs and stuff, I remember na I gave a talk And then,
Was this in UP?
Lasal.
Ah, okay.
Were you there?
Yung pinuntahan kita yung sa UP.
Di ko maalala. But around the time I was, parang after college na to. No, was it? Yeah, it was after college. And then, so, I was invited to plenty of talks. And then usually about social media and, becoming a content creator. And then I would say, okay to some.
Mm.
And then I would always go in absolutely unprepared.
Yeah.
As in, wala talaga. Walang-wala.
As in zero?
As in, zero.
As in, hindi mo man lang pinag-isipan?
Hindi
on
ko
the
talaga
way?
pinag-isipan. Wala talaga.
Wala kang kahit anong nugget of an idea what to talk
Wala
about?
talaga. Sobrang laugh trip. Meron akong talk sa Lasal. And I don't even remember what it was about. And then, parang I was after Camille Ko, who is a very successful lifestyle blogger. And then she was talking about I think she had a clothing line that she just launched, and she had this whole deck. And talagang alam mong, this girl prepares for a presentation in school, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. And I never did stuff like that. Being a creative writer. Parang wala kami mga ganyang mga deck, mga marketing. Wala kami ganyang training. So when I got there, and then after her, it was me. And then I was just,
Anong
akala
time
ko
in your life to after college?
after college, akala ko kasi, I'm used to, if you ask me, parang, Sab, can you give a talk? And, either college kids, I know how I was in college, and I don't need a presentation. So feeling ko parang mag-uusap lang, di ba? But I think that really messed me up, seeing her being well prepared. And then she gave a really great talk. And then, I just, I had to take a moment because I think I had a panic attack on stage.
Oh.
Yes, it was actually just a classroom, but there were a lot of people.
Okay.
And Lasal has nice classrooms. I don't know. I had never been there before.
May
that.
aircon. Yun lang
May
naman ang definition
aircon.
ko. Nice air. Nice.
May aircon. Tapos parang may leveling yung seating nila. Alam mo yun? Anyway. Tapos,
Pinag-isipan ng architect.
Pinag-isipan. I think it was a new building. Anyway, who cares? So, I don't have I never talked about this before in the podcast?
Never.
So, yun na nga, as in, nakakaya kasi I was doing this, my usual thing, stuttering, and then I really, as in, my heart was beating so fast, my hands were sweating, and then I was just like, I was laughing like that, and then I said, wait lang guys, and then tumalikod ako, and then I swear, I almost started, as in, I think I cried a little bit.
Oh my God.
And then I turned around and then I literally just dragged my feet. If I didn't see it, here's the thing. If I didn't see her very well put together presentation, I think I could have just BS'd my way into that. Diba? In talking about how I did what I did. But because of that, my very low self-confidence, I questioned everything. I was like, oh no, I'm doing it wrong. Ganon.
Okay.
So I talked lang. And I said, okay. And then I made fun of myself. And I was like, okay, so wala akong presentation, but... and then I just talked. And then they were really nice. The class was really nice. But I still... I mean, looking back...
You remember it all too well.
I remember it all too well. I was there.
You were sitting in the...
I'm standing in the classroom in LaSalle. Sorry, that was bad. In Taft. Yeah, it was bad. I remember it. It wasn't as good as it could have been if I had prepared. And if I had just been myself. Alam mo yun? I didn't have to compare myself to this very well put together girl. She had a deck. It was good, but that was her way. But I knew my way. I knew I didn't need a presentation.
So basically, doon lumalabas yung your lack of, parang the real lack of self-confidence.
Yes,
Because
that was
kasi
an
napansinan
example.
kita parang when one experience ko was like, I think hindi pa tayo super tayo. Pero I think I brought you to a UP talk.
Oh my.
And then you...
Oh, hey, I like that. Hindi ba
And,
okay yun?
Hindi, pero on the way, I remember, like, so I was driving, tapos sabi mo, ano kaya pag-usapan ko? Sabi ko, ha?
Oh, yeah.
Tapos sabi ko, tapos sabi mo, can you wait for me? Or parang come in, why don't you come?
Oh.
Tapos sabi ko, yun nga medyo hindi, pagkaalala ko, hindi pa tayo super tayo. Tapos sabi ko, parang weird. Parang it's a school thing and who am I? Diba?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember. And then I was like, okay lang yan.
Okay lang yan. Tapos ako parang, susunod na lang ako.
Oh.
And
What was the talk about?
I don't remember, pero you were super duper nervous. Tapos parang, I think pa nga you parang asked for a paper and pen eh.
On stage?
Right before going in.
Uh-huh.
Kasi you wanted to write some stuff.
Well, anyway, ito na nga yung point ko. I feel like the nerves are normal, but I think I overthought these things. Kasi they wouldn't have approached me if they didn't believe in me, right?
Mm.
So I say yes, and then when I get there, I'm like, oh no. I'm not the one that they should have asked to be here. I don't know anything. Why are they? And then there's this self-doubt. And para sa akin, it just wasn't a good thing kasi it wasn't beneficial to anyone. Yung constrain ko ng mga thoughts ko. Diba? Kasi kung kalat ako, well, whatever. Just like this podcast.
Pero, okay, so...
But definitely, yun nga, ako, sorry. Just to clarify, I prepare better now.
Yeah, and we'll get to that actually. And
Yeah.
I just want to add yung sa gigs nga. Kaya nga nakakatawa kasi tama ka, nerves are normal. And I think it's cool kasi pareho tayong we had our own issues.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? But they're pretty much the same. Like we didn't, we lacked confidence and it came out differently. Ako, I would overcompensate. Ikaw naman, yun nga, like pag gig, you'd always be like so nervous and you always parang put yourself down. So how did we change? Ikaw?
Ako muna.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of the experiences I've had, especially in the recent past, becoming a mother, figuring out that parang there are things that are beyond our control talaga. And the only thing that we can control is ourselves. I really cannot force people to think a certain way about me. And the only thing I can control is what I do, what I say, and that will get the ball rolling.
Why motherhood?
Because definitely that first pregnancy was not what we expected, diba? That's definitely one thing that was beyond our control. So that was an eye-opener na parang
You can't control everything.
you can't control everything and
You can't control other people.
you can't control other people, and also parang I just became so grateful. After that experience, it was traumatic, it was horrible, but Pancho, his survival is just something that I'm so grateful for. And I just, parang lumabas yung, oh my gosh, nothing else matters. You know what? I just feel like I want to be a kind person to my child. And to be that kind person, I need to be kind to myself. So,
yeah. Ako naman, I would say it's two. Okay? Number one, it was when, and I've said this a million times in the pod, and the reason why I've said it a million times is because it really was the life-changing moment, one of my life-changing moments, when I had to decide, do I quit my job and start Linya Linya? I asked my dad and parang for advice, and he was the one who always said, parang don't quit your job, don't quit your job, don't quit your job. And when he said na, parang for the first time, like, he really listened to me, and not for the first time, sama naman nun. Pero parang, hindi, kasi it's usually, he has his own agenda. Ganun naman ng parents eh. Parang,
And which is definitely what he thinks would be the best
yeah,
for
what
you.
he thinks would be best for me. So he said, yun nga, yung parang put yourself in a room, say all the bad things that you that are running in your head, and then imagine who's saying it, and see how important they are in your life.
Mhm.
And then after that, so nakita mo, si A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay?
Mhm.
People are in the room. And then you realize that the ones with the loudest voices actually don't matter the most, because the ones that love you will always support you, diba?
Yeah.
So that really changed my perspective. So it reflected in my definition of success.
Mhm.
So that's my tip. I know not all of you guys are entrepreneurs or will go through this path or will become fathers, mothers,
Mhm.
but I if I could put it in one sweeping statement, it's defining success. I
Mhm.
learned how to define success, and therefore, I felt better about myself.
Mhm.
I didn't need the approval of other people.
Mhm.
So that was one, and then of course, same as you, a very traumatic experience, which let me. Kaya nga yung sinasabi mo na parang when you realize na. Kasi I remember when it happened, parang for 40 or 45 days, I wasn't on. So I deleted all my social media apps, and like, we had a singular focus.
Mhm.
Diba? Will Pancho make it?
Yeah.
That's it. And so if I could make it relatable to the pod kids, I think the general advice would be find your North Star,
Mhm. Your guiding light.
because your North Star will trump all the other voices.
Mhm.
But you yourself you have to acknowledge, understand, and believe na this is my North Star, because this is what makes me happy.
Mhm.
And once you do that, then the other voices telling you na, you're not good enough.
Mhm.
You need to do more. Look at everyone else; they're doing great. You're not.
Yeah.
You have to acknowledge na hindi. This is my definition of happiness. This is
Yeah.
my definition of success, and that will be my North Star.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. And that actually I can relate that to my stage fright na I know I'm still not the best public speaker because I'm just not. And maybe
You're
I
the
could
cutest.
thank you. Maybe I could work on that, but that's not really my priority right now. And I'm okay with that because if people want to learn by me talking, I mean, we have this podcast, right? So instead of inviting me to a talk, maybe you could just direct them to listen to Wake Up with Jim and Sab. And yun, parang the North Star will clarify what you should say yes or no to. Diba?
That's also a very big, um, that's something that will easily derail you. Eh.
Mm.
Tas ako, kunwari, even with cheats,
Mm.
as a musician, so parang I got the combo deal.
Mm.
Okay? I already was insecure. I needed people's approval,
Mm.
and I happened to be a musician.
Mm.
And being a musician, you are at the mercy of other people.
Yeah.
No matter what you say. Kahit ano sabihin mo na, it's your art, whatever. But it's an art you share.
Yeah.
You're a performer. So I think and for the longest time, I constantly compare, and I know a lot of musicians who are still stuck there. Na parang
Yeah.
comparing themselves to, why are these people successful? Bakit sila baduy sila? Ganyan.
Mm.
I graduated from that because nga I had a North Star, and I changed my definition of success for the band.
Mm.
It was no longer, I'm gonna tour with Arcade Fire.
Mhm.
Diba? Well, it's a nice wish.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll do it next year. Pero I guess what changed is yung definition of success ko became, this is my band, my best friends. I love playing with them.
Mm.
This is my basketball. This is my mountain climbing. This is my biking.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it.
Oh yeah, that's so fun. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. So, yun. Again, I know it doesn't necessarily mean naman it will require a certain trauma or some life-altering event like parenthood, diba?
Mm.
To wake you up and, you know, but I would suggest that you constantly listen to yourself.
Mhm.
Listen to yourself, listen to the voices in your head, segregate them, and then you'll know kung sino yung okay, these people, they can be part of my North Stars.
Yeah, and please include us in those voices. Charot.
That's
Wake up with
true.
Jim and Sab. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Di mo nasulat.
Yun nga, hindi ko nasulat yung sasabihin ko. Ito pala, ito. Yung mga taong yon, identify kung sino yung magsasuppress ng character development nyo. And then just throw them out the window and just keep those that will be part of your North Star. And you will really see yourself change for the better. That's it.
Bye.
Bye!